Hello and welcome back. This is video number 2, and we're going to talk about the human brain. Now, hopefully this is going to be insightful to you as well, because this can actually help you understand why we think the way we do, why we do things the way we do, and it might even help you get things done as well. So you might be wondering, why in the world are we talking about the human brain in a course about how to increase your students' consumption rate? But believe it or not, this is a big and huge part of getting to understand how to get your students to actually consume more. So even though I'm teaching you certain triggers, certain strategies, and things to implement, you might think of other things along the way that can actually help your students. Now, let's talk about dopamine for just a second. No, it's not a drug or anything like that. It's a chemical that's being produced by your brain. So, according to WebMD.com, it says, what is dopamine? Dopamine is a type of neurotransmitter. Basically, your body produces it. Now, I'm going to skip this paragraph and go straight to here, because this is the important part. This here says dopamine plays a role in how we feel pleasure. It's a big part of the unique human ability to think and plan, and it helps us strive, focus, and find things interesting. So, as you can imagine, as you're going through the course, it's going to make people feel, oh, this is great. I completed this course, or I completed this topic, or I passed the quiz. It's sort of a reward chemical. So, let's take a different perspective here. According to upmchealth.com, dopamine controls many functions, including behavior, emotion, and cognition. This chemical also communicates with the front of your brain, which is associated with pleasure and reward. So the last sentence is really what I'm trying to get at, and that's the most important part for this course, is that dopamine is produced and is associated with pleasure and reward. So let's move on over here, and this will kind of open your eyes as to how it actually relates to an online course. So obviously, if you can get people to finish, step 1, step 2, step 3, like this video course, if we can get you to go from video 1 to all the way to video 8 and complete it, guess what? You're going to feel excited. You're going to feel like you did something that you normally don't do, because the minority actually complete a course, but the majority does not complete the course. So you're going to feel great. And that's the dopamine chemical reaction in your brain. So in relation to your course, how can we create triggers, essentially? So that's where we're going to talk about different triggers in terms of strategies, like the progress trigger, the desire trigger, the human trigger, and a bunch of other triggers as well, and what that looks like practically in your business. So for example, growtheengineering.co.uk, one of the items here is talking about online learning and gamification. Now, the reason why I bring this up is because most people like to play games. And the reason why is because those dopamine triggers they're just constantly triggering. So dopamine creates positive associations with learning. Dopamine, or the feel-good hormone, is released whenever we are rewarded for a specific action. Now, it says gamification focuses on giving learners instantaneous feedback, which might not otherwise be available. By giving virtual rewards for achieving learning goals, learners begin to associate the learning with positive emotions, prompting them to try to repeat it again and again. So in other words, if you can create a positive, exciting, interesting, and fun, perhaps, experience in the beginning, they're going to want to go through. Now, what does that look like? Well, that's what we're going to talk about in the next few videos. So with that said, we'll see you there.